Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're locked into Love, Lives, and Bestsellers with you. Oh, yo, it's your girl Shay, baby, and I'm with my slick partner.
Midnight Ace, hey y'all.
Hey, y'all. Hey, good morning, good morning. Good Saturday morning to you. Listen, Love, Lives, and Bestsellers. Well, we don't just read love stories. We talk about the business, the buzz, and what's really going on behind them. Because in this world, midnight, everybody's selling love, but everybody ain't selling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got some secrets.
Got some secrets, and baby, today we got some things we want to say. But before we get into it, this is a new show. It'll be coming on every Saturday morning from 10 to 12 p.m. All right, 10 to 12 p.m. And we have down below, we got everything because we want it to be more of we're talking about romance news and community. You know what I'm saying? So we want to involve the community, right? Midnight.
Yeah, and then we want to make sure that you guys know what's going on behind the scenes because just reading the book is one thing, but then you got to know what's going on behind those stories.
Gotta know what's going on behind the story. So below, I was like, well, maybe we should have people call in. But we also, but instead of calling in, why don't you just like tap the link below and then we'll bring you up. We want to keep your cameras off though, because we want everybody to feel safe and secure. And sometimes I find myself when I'm just talking with my good girlfriends on the phone, we just talking on the phone. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta see you. It's relaxed. It's all about romance. It's all about community. So you can keep your cameras off if you want to. We're gonna have our cameras off and just hit the top below, and we'll bring you up. You're right, Iris. From 10 to 12, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when we tell you when you want to tap in, you can tap in about either our question of the day because we're gonna have one right midnight.
Yes, we are.
Or you can just tap in and join in about anything that we're talking about. Okay, we're going to be talking about some of everything. So before we get started, let's start with this question of the day. The question of the day, my slick partner, is what?
All right. So inquiring minds want to know if you're a reader and you're reading romance, what is considered Black romance? Now, we know that if it's a Black author, it's considered Black romance. But what other criteria is needed to be considered a Black romance?
If you are author, So what's considered Black romance? Meaning, if you are Black and you write interracial, is that considered Black romance? Or if you are white and you write interracial, but because you're not Black, is that considered Black romance?
Correct.
Okay, we want to hear your we want to know. We want to hear your comments. So jump on in, and let us know. Hey, Rona D's checking in. Hey, Miss Rona.
Hey, hey,
Hi.
Mona.
Hey, Miss Rona, Mama Tony. Hey, Mama Tony. JB, what it do? Good morning, Brenda Woodbury. Oh, Midnight Ace, Midnight Ace. We got a legend that's checked in. We got a legend just checked in. Miss Beverly Jenkins. Hey, Miss Bev. Morning, morning. Woo woo. That's right. So that is our question of the day. What is considered Black romance? All right. So you guys think about that, and then we have some people already on the line who would jump on and say good morning to us this morning. So we're gonna bring Mama Tony up in a few minutes. But before we do that, midnight, let's get into our love list. The love list. And on the love list, we're going to talk about just for a hot minute tropes. What's trending? What are the trending tropes right now? What are you seeing out there, midnight?
Here's one that you don't hear too much about, but it keeps popping up. Romantasy.
Romantasy.
So if you guys are reading Romantasy, let me know. So there's one author that they said the popular Romantasy is a Sarah Moss, okay? And then we have Rebecca Yarros and Jennifer Armentrout. I'm not saying her name right. Those are the three people I know about, but I don't know if there's any Black authors that's writing Romantasy.
What exactly is romance?
And what is Romantasy, you might be asking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Romantasy is a combination of romance and fantasy. So
okay, combination of
romance and fantasy, and some would question whether or not it is as popular as they say it is.
Interesting. So do you read Romantasy?
I have not.
Okay. So that just is not your thing, or you just don't.
No,
What?
actually, I have a couple of those famous authors or the more popular authors like the Sarah Moss and Rebecca Yarros. I started reading The Fourth Wing. That's real popular. People might know about that. I started reading it, didn't finish it. What I've read so far was very good. So it was hyped up. The book talkers was talking about it. Even at work. The water cooler talk was about this Fourth Wing, and I started reading it. It was pretty good, but I just stopped reading it because I started to read something else. So I like it so far. I love fantasy. I love romance. So I figured, I should love this.
Okay, okay, all right.
They're
So
talking about
romantic.
whether or not it hit a high, and now the talks is it still popular?
Is it still popular? Okay, okay. So you guys out there in the bestsellers land, let us know what you think about romance. We have another legend checking in. Miss Brenda Jackson is in the building. We got the BJs with us this morning. How about that?
All
How
right.
about that?
Well,
Good morning, everybody.
Miss
I,
Miss Beverly Jenkins. There you go. Yeah.
she would love to. So Miss Bev says she would love to jump into the romantasy game. She's a big fantasy reader.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on some of your fantasy, Beverly.
Okay, she's a big fantasy reader. I got to get into fantasy. Another trope that I'm finding though that is kind of is big out here right now. It's mature romance. Because just think about it. The people we follow, they're women of a particular age. You know what I'm saying? And so they're now writing characters of that age. So it's like the mature romance. The late bloomers, is
Mhm.
it the 55 and up crew.
Right. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? It's like growing up, right? And you going from baby food to whole food, right? So you want to see as you get older, you want to see what your age group is doing.
This is true. This is true. I'm getting older too. I don't want to be seeing I don't want to be hearing about no 20, 21-year-olds all the time. Give me old 40-year-old man. What he
Unless you want to relive those yesteryears.
I mean, okay, I stand corrected. I'm okay with the yesteryears. I'm okay. I'm okay with the yesteryears. Again, make sure you check us out because we are trying to, we want to know the question of the day. We're going to go back to the question of the day all throughout today. What is black romance? What is black romance? Let's see, Mama Tony. We're gonna bring you up. You can turn your camera off if you want to, Mama. Hold on. Gonna bring Mama Tone up and see that she can answer our question of the day. What she feel about these our love list? What she's reading now, and what kind of trends does she think? Hold on.
Hey, Mama Tony. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Mama Tony. Hold on, let's get your face together on this thing over here. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you guys this morning?
We are good. We are good. Are you calling us or are you jumping in to answer our question for the day?
Well, yes, and to listen and to see can I get a few laughs in today and maybe a few tears, whatever's going on.
We got all that for you, Mama Tony. We got all that for you. And we got some good stuff coming up too because we have the bestseller seat. And today in the bestseller seat is Aja. Award winning. Yes. So make sure you stay tuned because Aja will be in the bestseller seat. So, while we got you on the line, do you want to give us your take on what is black romance?
I think anytime the characters are black, the city is a black city that we know about, where even if it's interracial, where African Americans are key, it's black romance.
Okay.
All right. So you said, all right, even if it's interracial, it's
even if it's interracial, because we have a tendency to dominate.
Okay.
So even if it's interracial, in my reading, I found we talk more about what we do. They come to us rather than we going over to their side. So it's black romance.
So it's black romance. Okay. So wait. Well, what about if there's a white lady who's writing interracial? Will she still be considered black romance?
Trying.
Got a little bit of gray area there.
She's trying now. It's if where she's getting the information from. Is she actually researching? Or is she married to a black family, into a black family, have black in-laws or somewhere she can get her information from and get it right, then yeah, because she got a good way to get it from. What's his name? J.J. Murray. He says, I write what I know. We know he's married to a black woman. So that's considered black romance.
Okay, I'm with you, Mama Tony, but some people will beg to differ.
I'm sure they will. And
yes, our good old friends over there at Threads, honey. The girls over there say, if you ain't black and your characters ain't black, then it's not black romance.
And I'm sure that they beg to. We will all beg to differ, but that's why reading is like it is. We all get a different view from what we read. We all see things different, and I like the story, but you don't give a cuss about the story. I think that character's black, you may not, but that's what makes reading wonderful.
That's what makes it wonderful. Thank you so much, Mama Tony, for joining us this morning. We appreciate you, baby.
Love y'all.
Love you. Mama Tony said, listen, if you write about black, if it's black, it's black. Whatever. How about that?
All right. Okay.
What you think, Midnight?
Yeah, I a little bit of a gray area for me if it is white writing interracial but like Mama Tony say, reading is you can have 5 people reading a story and get different perspectives. But it's a little bit of a gray area for me. But I will say I believe if it is a white author that is writing maybe an interracial romance, I think for me it's still considered black romance. And definitely if it's a black author writing black on black romance. Now, here's another question. There's a white author writing about maybe 2 black characters in the romance, and she's getting her research from somewhere that she maybe, I don't know, but that's a little bit of a stretch for me.
Okay. All right. I'll let you jump in on it.
All right. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Ms. Bell said, for me, black romance equals black authors and black characters. That's for a lot of people. I bet that's for a lot of people too. Iris Bowling is in the house. Hey, Iris.
Hey, Miss Iris.
Thanks for checking in with us. Let's see here. The JB said me not so much. Oh, so you're talking about the fantasy reads. Yeah, she's a romance all in.
Okay.
I gotta get into the fantasy. So what's some more tropes out here, Midnight, that you are seeing that's trending? What other readers are craving?
Funny you should say about the mature romance, because that is kind of creeping up the charts. Some mature romance. I love me some mature romance. And then, we have our other favorites where we have friends to lovers, enemies to lovers. And then, there's another one that kind of last year I was seeing a lot. It was probably already out there, but nobody was just calling it what it is. But, you got that grumpy, what I don't know what it's called, grumpy sunshine, some people sunshine grumpy, whatever it's called, like when you have a character that's really grumpy. I don't know that they put so many different names on the romance, so I think it keeps it interesting when they do that. But that's one that not too many people talk about. The grumpy sunshine.
The grumpy sunshine. Listen, okay, so this is the grumpy sunshine. Thanks, my babe. So, this is the no judgment zone, but I found myself, there's a trope. There's a grumpy sunshine. There's a trope that's out now. It's called, is it dubious consent?
Oh, yeah.
Dubious consent. I'm like, I'm kind of liking it a little bit.
Yeah,
don't ask me why, right?
Dark. You kind of going, and you got your why choose.
The why choose? Well, yeah, why choose too, but the dubious consent is like it's a controversial topic right now, right? Because and Nikki J is an author who writes a lot of it, and I am all into it. Big ups to LaShira Lee for turning me on to her. But I was like, well, what is dubious consent? You know what that is, right, Midnight?
Yeah.
Explain. Tell the people.
No. Because you've read it, I haven't read it.
So dubious consent is like when you are, it's mind you guys, it's dark romance, right? It's like when you've already, are in the mood or whatever, and y'all know set the tone, and he's about to go in and do his thing, and you change your mind, and he do it anyway. And I
Yeah.
was like, how is that? Oh, Jesus. So, in the beginning of me reading, I'm like, oh, God, how is this going to, you know? But the way that Nikki J writes these books, it's, I don't know. I gave consent for her. I don't know.
See, and that's the thing, and that's where you get your controversy in, because you're reading the story and the story is just written so well, right?
It,
And so you forget about all of the moral stuff that you were taught.
you forget about your morals.
Your moral compass kind of goes haywire because the story is written so well.
Hey, listen. Okay, it was. So, yeah, my moral compass went a different way. It went a different way. I absolutely love it. So, yo, you guys let us know. Drop it in the chat. What's on your list? What are some trends or some tropes or that you find yourself kind of I don't know, going towards now? Like, I kind of like that. I didn't think I would, but I don't know. I'm a little different. But I was just like, first of all, I'm not into, no means no and all that good stuff. But yeah. Or maybe I'm just into Nikki J. I don't know, because midnight sometimes you could be into a trope and then it's just that author kind of
Right.
because you can read
Exactly.
it because like all romance, you know.
Right. And
Hey,
then, somebody else might write that same subject matter, but they may not do it as well as that author. So sometimes you just following the author and you just kind of like supporting them along their journey, and you just figure, I'll try it. Why not? Right.
yeah, and it's kind of like historical romance. I find now that I'm not into historical romance. I'm into Miss Bev. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what I do like? I like period pieces, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like period pieces. I like, if something's set in like, the 1960s, depends on like what's going on. I like that. I like all Miss Bev historicals. And who else historicals that I liked? The old school ones for some strange reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. The grandmother got me into the who did the Whitney My Love? Who did that one? I can't remember. Somebody in the chat, let me know who did Whitney My Love. I cannot remember, but yeah. So while I'm thinking about who did Whitney My Love, because that, and of course, Miss Brenda got me into Shayna what's the other one by Catholic? What is the flower lady or what? Yes, they got me into those. So I it's romance, certain historicals that I love, but a whole lot of them I don't understand. I just can't get. Let's go back to the chat. Brenda Woodbury. She's answering our question for today. She said, for me as a reader, black romance equal black romance. If the couples are multiracial, then it falls in the interracial romance category. Okay. So
Okay.
it's all right.
Okay.
Okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay.
Okay.
Uh.
Miss Bev is jumping in. She said Judith McNaught.
Judith McNaught. Yes. Yes. Whitney, my love. And then Kathleen Woodward is Flame and Flower. Yes, yes, yes. Just stay on, Bam. That's why we need these legends in here. Yep. And then, yep. Brenda
Okay.
coming on in. Yes, Judith McNaught did Whitney, my love. So I thank you. Okay, thank you, Mama Tony. Look, I love y'all. So I've gotten into that. So that's one trope, or that I'm like, you know what? It just depends on the writer. It depends on the story, because everybody that's writing historicals is not. I don't know. And then I had a hard time understanding the difference between like the Regencies and it was just a lot. I was
Yeah,
confused.
it is. And the one thing about romance is that not only is it holding up the industry, it is one of the most fascinating genres out there, because it's not just you got so many facets in it. You got period pieces, you got historical, you got suspense, you got inspirational, it's so much multicultural. It's just the list can go on and on and on. It's just like when someone comes up with a new idea or something and they write it, then they put a category on it. So it's like you can never get bored in this genre.
This is true. All right, cool. You got yeah, it's something for everybody. All right, you guys. And speaking of something for everybody, I'm gonna go over to our book talk friends, and we want to know: are these books really worth the hype? Is it worth the hype? Midnight. So, on Book Talk, you have so many influencers over there. Like it's so many influencers. I'm confused with what an influencer is. It's like, yo, everybody who's reading a book now is an influencer. But sometimes I feel that they're hyping up a book that's a little overrated. Have you found that? Like, really, is it worth the hype? What do you think?
Well, let me just say this. I have found some good books from the book talkers, but my question is, are they really reading these books, or are they, doing the opening up the mail, bringing out the box, and then it's a beautiful cover, and oh, I heard about this author and that kind of thing like that. So is it really, are you really getting good information of whether or not you should be reading that book is what I question. And some would say,
Mm.
is book talk helping romance, or is it flattening it? They say, some people say book talk is widely credited for boosting the visibility and sales, but critics argue it could encourage overconsumption and shallow trend chasing. So you got to think about that.
Mm. So you're absolutely right, because some books that have now become movies and are number one bestsellers and all that. And I read the book and I'm like, what the whole hell just happened? How did this book become number one? I think it's just overrated. I think
Yeah.
a lot of them are overrated. A lot of authors, I feel, are overrated as well. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reverse could happen too. You can get a lot of those people that get a lot of FaceTime and saying, hated it. And then you read it and it's like, are we reading the same thing? Because this book was good.
You know what? And then, oh my God, yeah. Are we reading the same thing? Because the book was good, and also influencers. So will book reviewers fall into the line of being an influencer?
Yeah, see, I don't think so. I mean, um, so here is my definition I got for an influencer.
Okay.
An influencer, and this could be about anything, right? So an
Yep.
influencer is a person that is, let's just say books. Okay, so I read books, I review books, and I promote books and authors. So people come to me sometimes and will ask me, what should I read? Or have you read this person? Do you think it was any good? So because somebody comes to you and asks you your opinion of it and you give it, and maybe they buy it, maybe they don't, then that's kind of considered an influencer. But if you're just a book reviewer, but you necessarily don't promote, you just, do your reviews and keep it moving. Um, I don't know. The term
Okay.
influencer is, to me, I've often thought about it as myself, is maybe it's loosely used. And so I kind of ask myself sometimes too, what is it?
What is it? Okay, I get that. So, and you know what? And since you're a book reviewer, and this is hey, it's love, lives, and bestsellers, and we're talking about everything. Let's jump to real quick. Talk about an author. Her name is Bonnie Blanco. So Bonnie Blanco wrote a three-series book, right? Cool. And she a reviewer. I don't have the reviewer name right in front of me, but hey, going forward in life, we will have all of that. She thought the reviewer, she reviewed her work, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. She didn't like it at all, and she went on to say what about it she did not like, and you know, I felt like what's the girl? I'm writing you a 3-page letter. Like I was like, dang, like when is the difference between kind of like going on a campaign, tearing the author's work down, and then versus being just a reviewer. Because Bonnie Blanco didn't like it. She didn't like it, and it was just a whole controversy because she's like, "Listen, you didn't like the book. Say you don't like the book. Give it a review. Keep it pushing." But she felt as if though the reviewer went on just a smut campaign about her book, a smash campaign about it. You know what I'm saying?
And,
And
and
of course, she said something about it, and the everything was kind of split. You had some readers and and influencers that was like, and authors that was like, you know what, you didn't have to tear her book down like that, because now it seemed like it's personal. But then you also had some authors and some readers and some other influencers who felt the latter. You who felt like, you wrote the book, we got to give you a review. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I understood what Miss Blanco was saying. She's like, I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. Like, what do you feel about that? Because you are an influencer with a capital A, as Miss Bev say.
Yeah. And thank you for that, Miss Beth. But here's the thing: being a reviewer, and I know readers because I'm one myself. We can be a difficult audience, right? Because we want what we want, and we want it our way, right? And then sometimes we forget that this is someone's creative energy, if you will, and it is personal when the author is writing it, because it takes a lot to come before an audience like us. So when you are reviewing a book, and there is ways to do a book review that is a bad book review. There's a way to do it. And the other way is to write it in a professional way and just say it wasn't for you. And you can also say some things that you just didn't agree with the book, because sometimes that might help an author, right? It does not have to be bad. You do not have to trash an author because you didn't like the book. You just don't have to do that. Because here's the thing. Reviews are supposed to help a reader determine whether or not they think they might like a book or not. Right. If you go on a tangent about a book, that's just going to make me want to read the book, right? Because I'm going to want to know, okay, why are you saying this? Let me see what she did, right? That's just how 50 Shades of Grey was. They went through so many things, jumped through so many different hoops to keep people from reading this book because it was all bad. And that was the one thing I think for me, I can say is drew me to it, to read it, because I wanted to know what all the hype was about. When you are reviewing a book, you review the story. Whether you like it or not, you just say it. I didn't like the book. It wasn't for me. I didn't agree with this, whatever. If you like the book, obviously you give it to it. And that's point blank. You do not tear down the author, the artist, or whatever else you're reviewing. You just don't need to do that. It doesn't, what is it helping? It's not helping anybody. You just got mad because you read a bad book or you just didn't enjoy it, right? We don't want to give your personal stuff. I just want to know, is the book good? Is it worth me reading? If you say it is or you isn't, I can say, I'm still going to read the book. I'm going to try it because I like this author, or this is a new author to me and I know she had good stuff. Never review the author. Always review the story, period.
Always review the story, period. Brenda Woodbury says, it sounds like this reviewer used this as a power thing where she wanted to be seen more than heard. Those types are dangerous. Those types are dangerous. Yeah, I read the review. What's up, Renata? Hey, boo boo. I read the review, and I was just kind of like, well, dang, Mama Tony said, but you don't have to be ugly in your review. If so, go directly to the author.
Yeah.
Yeah, But here's the thing. It was crazy because she has, I think it's 3 books in this series. I think she read all 3.
And back a while ago, there was an issue. Some authors was having issues with people returning books on Amazon, right? Because they didn't like it. But they were reading, like the person would have 5 books in their series, and this person was reading all 5 books and returning all 5 books after they read it. So you can't say you didn't like the book because you kept going all the way through. 1 or 2 books should have told you whether or not it was gonna work for you, but you went through the whole catalog and said, no, I'm good.
Not this one. No, I don't want this one. Not this one. Right. Okay. Miss Bev said reviewers do not tag authors. You know what? I feel that too, because I don't know. If you're doing your regular review on Amazon or Goodreads and all the other places that the platforms that you do reviews at. But on social media, I don't like when you tag authors. And you know what else I don't like? Because I feel like it's messy. When you're having a conversation, like when 2 influencers or 2 book talkers or whatever are having a conversation over whether the book is overrated or, worth the hype or whatnot, someone else will comment and tag the author. And I'm like, why? So now it brings the author into the mess. And I don't know. And other authors catch strays because, they're friends of that author. So I'm like, should you tag the author? Like, you gave your review on the platforms that you give reviews on, but on social media, I just feel that I
Well,
don't know.
I do that, and the reason I do it is because I want it goes to the author's their platform, and then so I want other readers that might be on their page to see that this is a review. So if they're like contemplating whether or not they want to read the book or so like that. So but duly noted on that, Miss Bev. I do tag on social media when I review my book from my website, and then I, you know, put it on social media. I will tag the author, but it's just so that it can get on their page. So if any readers is, combing their page, if they see this review, then they can determine whether or not they want to purchase the book or not.
So you're doing your for the good of the good of people, but no, but and yeah, like Ms. Bev said that yeah, reviews are for the readers. Let me see here, and you guys still remember we still have our question for the day. The question for the day is midnight.
What is considered Black romance?
And what is considered black romance? So let's see. JB says when I check a review and it starts to turn ugly, I tend to not finish it, especially if it's not just about the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just not
I've,
about the
I've
book.
read some reviews where reviewers would say something like, "I hope this author don't quit her day job," like, and that to me just gets me steaming because so totally unnecessary.
Mm, hmm.
Yeah,
That makes sense. That makes sense. Ah, that's not good. It's like, why would you say that though?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a bullying tactic to me, but it doesn't make to me it doesn't like make the person. I don't trust you as a person, or you can't. It's nothing that you can tell me that is good or bad because now I don't trust you. So you're not a viable source for me anymore.
But but is that given? Because you're giving your opinion, right? So uh,
It's the way you give your opinion though. If
it's
it's trashing,
mm,
then no, it's a no for me.
it's the
But
way you
if
give
you
your
just said,
opinion.
I really didn't like this book, it just really didn't do it for me. And then like I said, there's ways to write a review if you don't like the book.
This
Because
is true.
I'm not saying if you don't like the book, don't write a review because we people need to see that if they're into looking at reviews before they purchase a book. So you need to see, okay, so if I say I don't like a book because I just didn't identify with the characters. The female character was just crying all the time or whatever. Okay, that was your opinion of the book. I don't think that's bad. And then that might help the author sometimes because I've heard authors say, oh, okay, somebody said they didn't like the character because she was weak, whatever. So, okay, well, maybe your next character, maybe you make that person a little bit stronger, if you like.
If you like, I get it. All right, I get it. I absolutely love it. Brenda Wilbur said, "Do y'all remember when Amazon allowed you guys to make comments to reviews? The reviewers back in the days would have been attacked. Oh my God! You know what?
They were.
They were right. I kind of I don't know if I was Amazon, I'll bring that back. When you can review the reviewer, I would bring that back.
Well, you can make comments now, but you can do a thumbs up or a thumbs down on a review.
Yeah, yeah, the thumbs up, thumbs down review. Miss Bev said yes. Don't tag the author. Send a message to the author. Yes, send a message to the author because if you are a avid reviewer of that author, they know your work anyway. So just send a message to the author. I think that's the best way to do it anyway. And I feel like Miss Blanco. I feel like that's what she wanted to. That's what I
Yeah.
feel like she would have expected or respected more if the reviewer. I gotta find this reviewer name if the reviewer would have done that. But it was crazy. But what threw me off though, because man, these authors, I look at authors as colleagues, right? They don't work good together. They're just like regular when you work in a regular office. When when you work in a regular office building, like you have some you like and you have some you don't. And maybe
But I'm gonna throw this out there too, because many years ago there was an author that I read, and she was like super sensitive, like she literally was super sensitive, and
who was
so you know, a review like that would just be catastrophic for her.
who was the author?
Uh, oh my gosh, it's gonna come to me. I'll tell you before it goes out. The name just escapes me. Say it. It's gonna come back to me.
All
Uh,
right, cool. Well, JB said you messy. Hey, listen, we
no, but she was sensitive. Now there were some times when it was a little, it was a little heavy, but I used to always say to her when we was at conferences and stuff like that. I used to say, you know what, you're a good writer. You know, you do have to toughen up a little bit. You're gonna have to have some tough skin because everybody, and I say this all the time now, everybody is not going to like what you write.
this is true.
That's just facts. They're not going to. Yeah. You know what? I hope I tell. She's not writing anymore, but not for this reason anyway. But you know, just everybody's not going to like what you write, and you have to be okay with that, right? But I don't say be okay with somebody trashing you. I mean, just trashing you as a person and your work, because there's just a way to do that, and I just think it should be professionalism with that.
This is true. It should be professional with that. That's
But
right. You're right about
Love Lies and Bestsellers is messy, honey. So
it's mess. It's a little bit because we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything, and going forward we have the bestseller seat. So that means our guest, our guest that's gonna come in, and do a little segment with us to talk about anything that we ask them, a little 15 minutes. And this morning, make sure you stay for the next hour because this morning we have Aja, award-winning best-selling author. Aja will be in the bestsellers seat, honey. And y'all know I love me some Aja, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And she also is going to be on the Brown Book series. Coming up this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, she'll be on the Brown Book series on Wednesday. But today we're gonna get like a little sneak peek of what she got coming up and everything. So that's in our next hour around 11:15 ish. So make sure you tune in for that. So midnight. Okay, so the verdict is in. Book talk. Sometimes it just be the trends, and sometimes they just jump on the bandwagon and they read the back of the book, as Mama Tony say. They read the back of the book and then they jump on whatever train is riding right then.
right.
All right, I can get that. I can get that. JB said that she's really influenced by reviews. By reviews. I don't know. I guess it depends on. I don't know. Depends on
I'm
what.
a sometimes and sometimes not. It just depends. If it's a new author that somebody has recommended, and I'm really not sure of whether or not I'm going to take to the story, I might read a few reviews, but I'm not necessarily saying that's going to be make or break whether or not I crack the book or not.
Yeah, and it depends on who is telling me about the book. You know me. I'd be like, Midnight, what is this book about? Because
I love our conversations when I come to you with a book because I can say 2 to 3 sentences and you be like, nah, no, I'm good.
yeah, no, I'm good.
Just footnote, you can just footnote me through the whole story.
Yeah, footnote me. I can't do it. I just can't do it. You had to grab me in the first sentence. You had to grab me in the first sentence. So Brenda Woodbury said the midnight. You really think those type of reviewers use the same professionalism that you so graciously use? Midnight just don't. Midnight don't. We'll talk about midnight in a minute. Midnight. Let me read Bev's. Midnight. Midnight's a Christian. She's so sweet. Okay, so Bev says. Once you release that book, the author no longer owns that book. It belongs to readers and reviewers. Not everybody is going to love your work. This is true.
That's it right there.
That
That's
is
it right
true.
there.
Everybody ain't gonna love your work. Okay, yes, ma'am, I'm gonna watch it. Everybody ain't gonna love your work. And I get that too. Because let me tell you something. I work for different little networks and stuff too, right? And I have to be careful when But I'm like, they're asking me like about a show or something. And I'm like, I don't like this show. I may like the show, but the character um sucks. He's like, I'm like, yo, this could have been a great show, but this particular character in this show who sometimes is like the main character just need their ass whooped. Like I don't it messes up the whole show for me. And sometimes that's how I feel about with books. So if
Mhm.
I read a book and the secondary character is an asshole, or I'm more into the secondary characters and didn't really feel the main character. If I say that, does that mean I'm trashing the book?
Absolutely not for me, because there are some times when I have been drawn to the secondary characters, and the main characters become the secondary character. But we've talked about this too, and the question we both had after that is that book written correctly? If
No, it wasn't written correctly. I can't remember the book to save my life. And I know you're not going to tell it to me, but that book sucked. You said, I said, what about this book that you like? Iris, text me the name of that book. I can't remember right now. Text me the name of the book and I'm going to say it. I don't give a damn.
I did like the story, but I don't know.
No, Midnight. You said, I said, what about this book that you liked? You said, oh, I like the little boy in the book. And I'm like, that's it? Is it a romance? You're like, yeah. I'm like, so hold on, let me get this straight. It's a romance novel, and you only liked the kid in the book. So
Because really, to me, in that book, the romance wasn't strong. Maybe that was the reason why. It was more of, I don't know, because
was it a women's fiction book or was it like a true romance?
to me, it wasn't a true romance.
Iris,
Yeah.
send me the name. Send me the name of the book. I can't remember to save my life.
Don't send it to her, Iris.
I guess. Rona D says it's 100% true, and you have to be able to take the good with the bad and know that your talent has a purpose, allowing you to push through it. I like
True,
that.
true. I can get with that. I can get with that.
Listen, wait, Aja's in the building. Aja said, let me listen to what y'all got going on before I put myself in this hot seat.
You can't run now, hunty.
You can't run, baby. You cannot run. You cannot run. Mama Tony says, authors appreciate you coming to them. I have a letters from back in the day where authors said thank you. It was a one-on-one conversation, not on the review page where everyone could see it. You know what? And that brings it back to what Bev was just saying, that just to message the author. I mean, now you're good at that. You're good
Yeah.
at going to the author yourself, and having a one-on-one conversation, just trying to understand what But do the authors want that though? Do they really want
Well,
that too?
I have not had a bad experience with to them. Like, I've read a series, just picked it up just for fun reading or whatever, and I noticed that there's like lots and lots of mistakes in there. And I hesitate, and then I'll just say, let me just take my chance. Let me reach out to them. And it has been appreciated that I've done that instead of just writing a review that says the mistakes took away from the story. I try not to put anything that negative like that on the Amazon reviews or anywhere. So I have had some really good experience with reaching out to the authors. However, I've heard of people who saying that authors have attacked some readers from reaching out to them. I don't know. I haven't had that experience.
Hmm. Yeah, Rona said she appreciated it.
Yeah, I would think
And
they
and
would.
yeah, Mama Tony said she think they do, they appreciate it as well. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to
I
back to
just
this
wanted
book you was telling me about that you only like the children in it.
So let me go at Brenda Woodbury says, was it strong romance? To me, it wasn't strong romance. That's why, it was a family. It was a family in there. There was some romance. I did enjoy the characters, but it was just this one character, just kind of it just
She started reading a children's book. She was reading a children's
No, it
book.
wasn't.
I'm like, this wasn't a strong romance, Midnight.
No, it wasn't. To me, it couldn't have been a strong romance because obviously I zoned in on the one son.
Hmm.
He was autistic. The son was
Oh,
autistic, and so
okay.
just the things that he was doing in there, just like I just fell in love with them. But I wouldn't
Okay.
say that was a bad book, though. But I wouldn't
But
say it
you
was a
didn't
bad
tell
book.
me nothing else. But so you wouldn't your book talker cred went down because you did not tell me anything about that book. I was asking for a real review, and all you kept saying was about the little boy, and I'm
No,
like,
I
midnight.
know you didn't ask me for a review when I
Okay,
said
tell me about the book. Tell me about the book.
we don't have time for that. Let's keep it moving.
Love, live, and bestsellers, you guys. This your girl Shay, baby, and I'm on here with my sleep partner.
Midnight Ace.
That's right. Coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, we have Aja. Award-winning bestseller author Audrey is in the building, and we're going to talk about her new releases and also for the full episode, her full interview. You'll be able to check it out this Wednesday on Brown Book Series for the novel experience at 7 p.m. So make sure you go back and check that out. Midnight
Yes,
on
ma'am.
on the scene, so on the scene is like where we need to be. Let me tell you about these different events and conferences we got coming up. You know what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, if you have anybody, I mean, if you go into an event or whatnot, you want us to shout it out, just drop us a line and we'll pump it up for you, shout it out. We'll be here every Saturday morning from 10 to 12 a.m. giving you the best in your romance, news, and community. And hey, it ain't all good. I think Unbev always say it might be romance, but it ain't all love. So we're gonna be giving you everything, and then come up in a few minutes, we'll talk about the industry tea. But right now, midnight, where are we going? Like, what's on the scene? What are some of the festivals and events and conferences that you feel just need to be at?
Okay, so we have coming up next week. We got Spring Fling coming up in Chicago.
Yes,
Um,
Chicago's
and,
playing.
yep, and that is usually a very good event. A lot of authors show up, so if you're able to check out the Saturday, is it Saturday? The Book Fest is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so come out to that. We also have the Black Romance Book Fest
Yes.
is in May, the end of May, in Atlanta. Those tickets are all sold out. So if you're lucky enough to get one of those, we'll see you there. If not, better like next time. Um,
Yeah. Womp womp.
yeah, yeah. And then I have been kind of touring a little bit with Elle Wright with her book, The X Dilemma. She's
Yes.
been
Good
touring
book.
all across the Midwest and some other places. So she's been in Chicago, Milwaukee, Michigan area here. So I've been doing a little bit of that. She's going to be at the book joint in June. So if you're in the Chicagoland area, come out with that. I'll be posting what the date is. I don't have the exact date on that. Let's see. We also have, of course, the Raw Experience. And this is not really like a book, like a book thing. It is in the total experience. So you get a little bit of everything there. That's going to be in October.
That's in October. But before we get to Raw though, in the end of the year, we have the One Love reunion
One
that's
Love
going on with AC author. We got the One Love reunion. We have the Chocolate City. Yes, Rona going to be at Chocolate City here in DC. That's there in DC. I said here in DC. I'm in Boston, and there in DC. You got Miss Bev. That's right. Bev is going to be in Conyers at the Conyers Book Fair.
Okay.
That's this weekend. It's going on this weekend. So if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, go check her out this weekend at the Conyers Book Fair. Vanessa Riley's also going to be there too, midnight. I have
Okay.
to, yeah, I saw Vanessa Riley's going to be there. Let's see, the book joint with Elle on June 26th and 27th. You're going to check that out too. So we're going to have a list of all these different festivals. We're going to start dropping them in the description links below or whatnot. And well-read attorney, big shout out to her. She has a list on her Instagram page, so you can go to well-read attorney, and she has a list of different festivals as well. She's doing a great job as far as getting them out there. But for the ones we just told you about, this is where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? The Chocolate City Lit there in DC. I think when is Jaquel J has one coming up? Is it Empire State? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know the name of that one.
Yeah, I gotta get the dates. Oh yeah, Danielle Allen will be in Conyers too. All right, yeah, that's gonna be cute. Down, honey.
Okay.
That is going to be
I
cute.
think let me see. I think someone's gonna be in Chicago. Let me just see who's gonna be in Chicago here. We got another author coming to Chicago.
Chicago.
Second.
Yeah.
Get that
So
name.
Rona, when is the Chocolate City Lit Fest? When is that? The Chocolate City Lit Fest. But everybody, if you're gonna be in Georgia, you don't want to miss Bev in Georgia in Conyers for the Conyers Book Fair. You don't want to miss it. Danielle Allen will be in the building. Vanessa Riley will be in the building. I think Casey Mills is going to be there as well. I got to call Casey up. I think she's going to be there as well. I want to go to the One Love reunion though, because I think they're going to be in New Orleans this year. I want to go there. I want to go there. I need any excuse to go play in New Orleans. New Orleans. Yeah, Empire State of Stories lit. That's right. All right, and Chocolate City Lit Fest is April the 25th. If you want to go and check that out. I was at midnight. I just got back from Vegas. Right, I was at the Book Lovers Conference in Vegas, and it was very, very good. Midnight, you on mute. I had a
Okay.
great. Get your life together over there. I had a great time for the Book Lovers conference up in Vegas. So big shout out to Joe Carroll and the team. They did a wonderful job. I loved it. We had a good time. Had a
Yeah.
real good time. I got to meet. I'm also a reader. And I'm a reader and I'm a fan. I got to meet Sylvia Day. I
Oh
was so
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I was so excited because you I don't know, some people I just be like I love her and I want to meet her, and people think I just know everybody. I'm like I don't. And then I was a real fan, right? Because I was with Aunt Brenda, Brenda Jackson. So I was like, Auntie, do you know her? She was like, yeah. And so she just walked up to her, and Sylvia just stopped everything she was doing and jumped up and hugged Brenda. And then she was, this my niece. And then I was like, oh, this is so cool. So let me tell you, being with the BJs, it's like, it's wonderful. I just be like, they're like, that's Bev's niece. So that's Brenda's niece. Let's talk to her. So I love the BJs. Like they the best.
Yeah,
They're the
before I came to the romance community, Sylvia Day used to be my one. Because I didn't know about all of the different authors here. But yeah, she used to be a one click for me. I mean, and I still pick up her stuff now too. I haven't read anything by her in a while. So yeah, I like her. I got enough
yeah,
time to meet her too at the last RT event.
yeah. I never made it to an RT event, so I was really fangirling out a little bit on her. And listen, Pat Simmons. I love me some Pat Simmons. You hear me? I've interviewed her. I've interviewed her, and I gotta meet Pat because I come from radio and TV, and Pat St. Louis, I think she was on, and so I was like, yo, I used to watch her. And when I finally got a chance to meet her, you talking about somebody with just a beautiful spirit and just
Hmm.
inside and out. Like I love me some Pat Simmons. And then when she gave me a hug, I was like, oh, I love you, Pat. so, so I had a wonderful time at the book Lovers Con, and I can't wait to go back there on next year. Let's see, yeah, Chocolate City Lit Fest April 25th. Let's see, Bev said she's going to be in New Orleans with AC as well. All right, I just going to be in New Orleans. I'm going to come on through. The Black Romance Book Fest is May 29th. Chocolate City Lit Fest is sold out as well. Ooh.
Yeah.
But I love her too. Yeah, it's all sold out. So, but you know what? They did open up some more tickets for the Black Romance Book Festival though. Some of the I don't know if it's the general admission, but I know like some of the like the concerts and the comedy club.
Okay.
Yeah, more tickets for the great Pleasure P and all those, and then for the comedy with Miss Janelle. So go to the Black Romance Book Festival's page, and I think that they have some more. Now, if you go there, they ain't got no more. Tell Lauren, I'm sorry, Lauren. I'm sorry, boo. I thought you did. So now I'm like, I don't know, was that a personal message to me or was it for the world? But Lauren just texted me like, girl, that was for everybody. I'm sorry. Y'all go over there and check it out though. Make sure. Make sure.
Oh,
And
and
while y'all
go
what
ahead.
you was looking at midnight.
No, I was going to say Tiffany Warren is supposed to be in the Chicagoland area in May, May second week in May. Someone reached out to me and just hit me up, but I don't have details with it. But supposedly she's going to be in Homewood and also be at the book joint. So
All right.
once I get more information and details to make sure that this is a confirmed, I'll share it with everyone.
All right, y'all check that out. Check that out. Okay, so it's 10:55. 10:55. We're about to hit the top of the hour. But before we go into the top of the hour, let's go into a little industry tea. Little industry tea. How about that? Tech driven animation company to adapt HarperCollins titles. Did you hear about that, Midnight?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
say that one more time.
okay, so HarperCollins has partnered with direct-to-consumer animation company
Oh,
Toonstar
yes,
to
yes,
create animated series based on Harper books. So the first project is an adaptation of Lisa Greenwald's Friendship List, and Harper Alley will publish an accompanying graphic novel. So HarperCollins has always embraced innovation that serves our authors and readers by finding new ways to bring great stories to readers wherever they are. That was stated by Harper U.S. Trade CEO and publisher, late, you know what, Lake Steelick. I be messing up these names, but y'all know I love y'all. Say in the release, Toonstone, Toonstar's proven ability to translate beloved stories into engaging animation while keeping artists at the center of the process makes them the ideal partner to bring Friendship List and one popular titles, other popular titles to new audience in formats today's family love. How about that?
You know what? I'm excited about that. I think I might like that.
They got into because they're getting into that vertical movies as well. So, huh, vertical movies as well. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And jumping back real quick too. Let's see. NBCC is July 30th through August the 1st. It's National Book Club Festival. National Book Club Conference. Shout out to Curtis over there. That's July 30th through August the 1st. Let's see here. So if we missed the anywhere you're gonna be, just drop it in the link below. Iris Bowler. Iris is having her event in
Yeah.
December, right?
December. Yep. She's going to be celebrating her 50th book release celebration. And that is going to be, of course, I don't have all my dates written down.
Well,
But
we'll drop them. And then, hey, we're gonna be coming on every Saturday. So we know if we don't mention it all right now, we're just trying to get the ones that's going on this weekend and the ones, weekends before, coming up that you need to be at right quick. So make sure you drop that in the link and we'll have that on the description, on our description list. So back to a little more industry tea. New Callaway Midnight is filing bankruptcy and it blames its debt on COVID-19 and predatory lenders. So, in a new filing in the Callaway Arts and Entertainment bankruptcy case, founder Nicholas Callaway claims that the COVID-19 pandemic and the predatory lenders are the causes of the company's debt. The company filed a for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in U.S. bankruptcy court for the Southern District of New York, at the end of March, revealing six and seven figure debts to Hachette Book Group, Bob Dylan, and others. The new filing states that each Callaway book takes years to develop. What kind of books they doing over there? And each published work is a piece of art in and of itself. So, someone got to pay for this art.
well, yeah, somebody's got to pay for all the art. But why isn't everybody else filing bankruptcy? Everybody else experienced COVID.
Well,
I don't know
maybe
if this. I need more details on that.
you need more details. You like, why it takes this book so long to write? Like, what's the average book things? I don't know because I see so now working with authors, they'll turn their book in like this year and it comes out like 2028. I'd be like, I don't understand that, but I guess it is what it is. Speaking of books, M. Hartley's The Love Ledger, in the Honey Hollow Heart series, she pitched as Sweet Magnolias and meets You've Got a Mail. So she got signed, to Page and Vine. So big shout outs to Miss M. Hartley. Romanticy Midnight, big
All
moves
right.
and shows. Yes, Sheila Madison's The Poisoned Daughter, an originally self-published standalone dark and romantasy in which a woman whose poisoned lips can kill with a kiss meets the one man who just won't die. And it happens to be her. Oh my God, he just ain't gonna die. Oh my God. So she just got a major deal for 7 figures at auction for publication in print and audio. How about that?
All right. Congrats.
Congratulations, Miss Sheila, honey. She out there doing the damn thing. And of course, we all know Miss Jacquel J. Hey, Jacquel, Miss Jacquel J. She just landed a 7 figure deal. Big ups to her and LaSure Lee for making that happen. So
Yeah.
that is going to be wonderful. Yeah, that's going to be good. Let's see. Author of Flower Heart And Where Shadows Bloom, Catherine Blackwell, The Scarlet King, is a gothic romantasy in which a young woman in the 18th century England seeks freedom from oppression and the chance to wield her sharp teeth by joining the dark vampire court of the Wicked King from one of her childhood fairy tales. Is
Yeah.
that romance? What is that? I guess,
That's
yeah.
that's one of those things where you gotta kind of wait and see.
Wait and see. Well, big ups to her for doing the damn thing. And we got some film rights, midnight. Film rights coming up. My girl Jennifer Post. I love me some Jennifer. She's been on a friend of the show. Yeah. She's a friend of Brown Book series. And Jennifer Probst, she has the marriage bargain. And she just her film rights. So she is now with 20th Century Studios with Laura Lecos. Hey Laura. And they adapted it over there. So big ups to her. They're gonna be producing outside of the first book deal with Amazon MGM Studios by Kevin Leon at Marcel Lyra Agency. So big ups to her. And Avery Flynn's head witch in charge went to Miss Molly over at Real Short. So, big ups to everybody making all these film moves out here. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now another romance news. Casey West, the trust issues, I'm sorry, is the enemies to love, a story about a woman who suspects her boyfriend is cheating and hires a food delivery driver to catch him in the act. But guess what, Midnight? Instead of catching him, he rats her out. When he's hired later at her workplace, he doesn't even remember her, and of course she never forgets him. So that book went on to Saturday Books in an exclusive submission for publication for winter of 2027. So big up to Casey West. So she's getting published now. I think that's a good thing. I like Casey West.
Mhm.
I like Casey West.
Yeah.
All right, what are you doing over there, Iris? Iris event is December 3rd through the
Yeah.
6th. Thanks, Mama Tony.
Thanks, Mama Tony.
Iris's book, yes, December 3rd through the 6th. Hey, you guys, we still have our question. And the question for today is what, Midnight?
It is, what is considered Black romance?
What is considered Black romance? So we still, if you want to answer, chime in on that. That's the question for the day. Even when we get off, we'll still be, hey, you still can leave us a message or whatnot on what is considered Black romance. Let's see here. Rona D said, I forgot to mention Pages in the City, July 26th. Okay. And they just announced opening for slots in 2027. So Pages in the City is going on July 26th of this year. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's a lot of stuff going around it's a lot of book events there. So yeah.
A lot of books, a lot of book events going on, a lot of moving, a lot of shaking. It's a lot, and it's a lot of moving and shaking in the industry as well. We have so many editors who are not where they were. I don't know. Do you feel like the industry is moving away from traditional publishing?
I asked myself that, definitely last year, that question came up in my mind a couple of times, because we went from being traditionally published is the thing to do. Then a lot of people wanted to write their own stories their way. And so then they were self-published, but they were still getting deals. So then we got these hybrids. And now I feel like a lot of people are doing more hybriding than they are one or the other. So I don't know. I mean, traditionally used to be for sure. So I don't know, because, my take on traditionally published was way back when was, it was a way for you to get yourself out there, a little bit more. You'd have, more avenues afforded to you. And then when you're self-published, you have to do everything yourself. So you'd be a one-man show. So I don't know, but because now things have changed with traditional publishing.
Okay.
I think there's a space for both of them, though.
There's a space for both of them. Okay, I gotta give a quick shout out to Philip Patrick. Philip Patrick, he's one of my good friends over at Amazon. He has retired after 15 years at Amazon Publishing. Amazon handmade and book advertising. He previously worked at Random House, including as VP of Marketing for the Crown Publishing Group. So, enjoy your retirement, Philip. Enjoy your retirement. Let's see here. Ms. Bev said there are only 5 traditional publishers.
Yeah, and
You
that
know,
part changed
yeah,
too. That
that
part has changed too because everybody it's been broken up. You got divorces and mergers and you know and then we
and
did
there's
like
so
you
many
said, you
different
brought up at
imprints.
first about the editors. We in a sense we have displaced editors now because there's not a whole lot of publishing companies out there.
That's true. It's a lot of different imprints, but they're all up under that one publishing company. So people would think, you know what I'm saying, that man, yeah, it's a whole lot of publishing company, and which it's not.
Yeah.
Hmm. Source books just because the big five are like they are. I got which are the big five? And then we got HarperCollins, we
Yeah.
have Simon and Schuster, we have Penguin Random House, Hachette. Who is the fifth one? Check that out, midnight. We gotta find out who's the fifth one.
Okay.
The big five. That's right, the big five. I know Source Books had broke something up in there one time before, honey, and they was excited because they was like, "We made it into the big leagues." I'm like, "Oh, Source, do your thing." So we got to figure out who are all the big five publishing companies. Coming up in the next 10 minutes, we're going to have Miss Aja on with us. We're going to have Miss Aja on with us, and we're going to talk about her book, give her a little love, and then for the full interview, you'll be able to do her full interview or hear her full interview on the Brown Book series coming up this Wednesday at 7 p.m. This Wednesday at 7 p.m. So, yeah, so all back in publishing. It's a lot of things going on, man. Like so many people are being published. We have new releases. What new releases that we have come out this week?
We had I like this was it was a collaboration between Delaney Diamond, Ty Love, and Sanithia Williams, and it's called the Single Dad Society. So that one was really good. I partook on that one, so that was good. And what else? What was the other one that I just released that I kind of got my finger on? Oh my goodness.
Brenda Jackson had a new release this
Yes,
week.
Brenda Jackson. Brenda Jackson had a release that came out. And that was the only 2 releases that I actually partook on. So I'm sure there's more.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot more out there, but hey. We're gonna be having new releases too. This is our pilot episode, you guys. So we're gonna have all this good information for you as well. Someone asked, is Kensington still active? Yes, Miss Unveil said Kensington is still active. They are. They're still active. It's so many imprints though they're closing.
Yeah, we got Simon and Schuster, Penguin House, Penguin Random House, and I don't know, Macmillan. Is that still? Is that?
Yeah. So the big five. Thanks.
There you go. Yeah.
These legends get me together, so I love them. All right. Brenda Jackson says the publishers: Penguin Random House, HarperCollins, Simon Schuster, Hachette, and Macmillan. That's right.
Yeah.
Macmillan. Mary Monroe's Bad Seeds dropped this week. Thank you, Mama Tony. I love Miss Mary Monroe. Yeah, Bad Seeds dropped this week. What's wrong?
No, I was just saying I like Miss Mary too. She kind of funny to me, but yeah, I like Miss Mary.
Yeah, she is funny. She is funny. All right, we still have a question for the day about Black romance. Black romance. What is Black romance? If you Black and you write about a Black man and a white girl, or vice versa, are you considered an author of Black romance? If you are, a white lady or anything else, and you write about, interracial love that includes a Black person, does that include? Does that qualify as Black romance? We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure all that out. And we just want to hear what you have to say. Want to hear what you have to say. Let's see. Any more industry tea that we got? Oh my God. We have to talk about the AI situation with Shay Girl. That was absolutely crazy. So, all right, for the ones who you don't know about the whole Shy Girl incident, the author, what was her name? Midnight.
It was Mia. Let me see.
Mia Ballard, I think.
It's like Mia. Okay. Mia Ballard.
Yes. Mia Ballard wrote a book called Shy Girl. So it was all she was already self-published and all that good stuff, right? Already self-published and doing her thing, and then Hachette picked it up. Like, hey, we're gonna publish this thing. It's gonna be global and whatnot. So
Yeah.
a young guy, I hate that my laptop crashed because I had the guy's name up too. But anyway, he got this AI program. I mean, he's the founder of it or whatnot, and he took her manuscript, her whole manuscript. I wonder how did he get it? Well, she was self-published, so there's many ways to get it when you're self-published. And he put it through an AI program, and it came back 70% that it was AI.
78%, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, 78% that it was AI. So instead of him, hitting the author, calling the publisher, whatever, he took it straight to New York Times. New York Times then sent it to, then they did their article, whatever they're gonna do, and they sent it to Hachette. And then Hachette pulled her contract. And so Mia said, well, listen, hold on now. Wait a minute. I wrote this stuff. This is my shit. What are y'all doing over here? And come to find out, her editor, she feels that her editor used, I guess, a program, which all programs now are powered by AI, Grammarly, all of them, to edit her book.
Yeah.
And that was just like a whole nother controversy. First of all, Sweet Muffin, why are you even taking her stuff and putting it through anything? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not a reviewer. Who are you, sir? And why did you do that? Like, really?
But here's the thing with that too. Let me just throw this in there. So just recently, Anthropic had gotten their hands slapped for putting through books, unauthorized books, through an AI system to train. So would the same be for him, taking somebody's book and putting it through an AI program?
Basically, I feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely crazy. But you know what? We have an author on the line here, and we're going to pull her up because we want to see what's going on. Hey, everybody, Love, Lies, and Bestsellers. Our very first hot seat, the bestseller seat, is none other than award-winning author, future legend, Aja.
Hey.
Hi, Aja. What's up, baby? Welcome to Love, Lies, and Bestsellers.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely listening to you all.
Thank you for joining us and being our first guest in the Bestsellers seat.
Hey.
Hey, it's awesome and it's amazing. So, Aja, you've been listening to the show, right?
I have been.
Okay.
And you still showed up.
I needed to prepare myself. I never know with you.
Right. And then I didn't drag Midnight into my shenanigans.
I came willingly.
She came, it was dubious consent. First she said no, and then she said yes. So it was dubious consent. So we were talking about this whole AI thing with Mia Ballard, with Shy Girl. Do you have any, what do you think? Any opinions on it?
I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more conversations about it, not just about her, but just in general, like AI and readers, publishers, editors putting authors' works into the system and looking for AI, but using AI to search for AI. It's really unfortunate because I hear that her mental health was impacted by all of this.
Yeah.
And that's a really sad thing. I don't know. I just think it's wrong. Like, I think that if there was suspicion about it, there needed to be a conversation with the author and let the author explain any type of discrepancies. But there's a lot of witch hunts going on, and art is just under attack in general. So it's just really sad to see.
That is really sad to see.
Yeah.
And I feel like, oh, boy should mind his damn business. Like, who? It was like he was like a bad reviewer. No, I'm just saying. Like, you came, like, read her book, what gave you the audacity to put her stuff through an AI program? And because of
Right.
all this, anthropic and everything that's going on out there, everything now, everybody's book, if you put it through AI, is going to say that it's going to come back that is AI because people stole,
Mhm.
you stole other people's work.
Exactly.
And it's crazy. And is AI really that bad? Like if I say, give me a suggestion, or I wrote this like this, give me another way. It's kind of like when you're using Grammarly or any other, um, you know, software and editing program or whatever, or Google. You're asking it for different wording. Like, oh, I don't want to say this word because everyone says this word. Give me another word to say. Does that mean, AI wrote my stuff for me?
I think as a writer, it's a whole different thing though. Like writing is my craft, it's my art, and it's born inside of me. So I can't envision and imagine using AI to tell that story that's born inside of me. But I think what's more important is that we don't come at each other. We educate one another and then we allow people to live their lives. I think that what is happening is we're using AI and our moral stance on it as a way of attacking each other, in particular, Black authors, because I'm noticing that there's a lot more heat for them.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, there's a lot more heat for Black authors, or I shouldn't say them. Obviously I'm in that, but yeah, I just think that if we educate, we give people information about AI and specifically generative AI, and then we allow people to make their decisions based on what they know.
Yeah,
All
just
right, I love it.
like, okay, so for Google, so you might Google something, a subject matter. Author might be writing a book about, I don't know, how to bake bread, but you don't, you never baked bread, but you want that book to be authentic. So you might go search for Google how to make bread.
Right.
But Google was our preview, I feel like, to AI because they was doing the research for us.
Well,
No,
AI has been around for a really long time. I
yeah,
mean,
Very long
AI has
time.
been a part of our computer system. It's living in everything. I think but when we talk about generative AI where it's pulling from um already like created work
mm-hmm.
in order for the person using it to build their own work. I think that's when it gets to be a different type of conversation. Are you writing if you are using AI to write your story? Is that writing?
Right.
Like that's the question. Are you writing this book if you've asked AI to create these scenarios for you or to write these chapters for you? And again, I think it's really hard for me to have that discussion about whether or not people are or aren't. I just know that my stance is that my stories must be born inside of me. Like these are my babies, and I want to use my voice, and I want to use my creativity, and that's just how I feel about it. But I don't worry about what other people are doing.
I just said I'm not artificially inseminated. I push my babies out the natural way, baby. Ain't no C sections over here, sweet loving. I absolutely love it. JB answered our question for today, and Aja, we're gonna ask you the same question. Our question for today is what is considered black romance? JB said black romance to her it's when the man and the woman have a desire to make their relationship a priority. Doing those things that makes each other feel special, being spontaneous. Yeah, but what is considered black romance, JB? Aja, what is considered black romance? Because we have so many authors now that say that you have to be black, your characters have to be black. So if you're black and you write interracial love, that's not considered black romance. Or if you are a person of another ethnicity who writes about black characters, then
Right.
that's not black romance. What do you feel?
Well, it's not even what I feel. Black romance is already defined. It's a Black author who's writing about a um Black couple or whoever the love interests are. So there may be more than two people, but basically everybody's Black. That's Black romance. And if you're a Black author and you're writing an interracial couple, then that would be interracial romance. It's already been defined, and I think that there continues to be a conversation, and I'm not really sure why. Because we know, like, is people know, but they're pushing it. They're pushing it because I feel like it's gentrification. You
Yes.
know, like it's
Ah.
cool kids. You know, Black romance is pretty cool, and people want in on that. But it's a category that's already been defined, and it really doesn't need too much discussion. Everybody got to be Black.
Everybody gotta be Black. Everybody, the author, the people, everybody.
Mhm.
That's Black romance. All right, I love your stance on that. Look at you. I love it. I love it. Love it. Going back to this AI real quick, Ms. Dev said AI was trained on stolen intellectual property. How dare you steal from authors and artists? And they stole it, told you they stole it, and make you fill out paperwork to get your money off of it. It's just crazy. It's like just how you stole it and used it. Pay me for it and stop. How about that? How
That's
about
why I have I guess, the stance that I have on it as well. Like my personal stance is that what you're doing is you're using someone else's work to create your own, and yeah, that doesn't feel too good.
yeah? That's not feeling good at all. Midnight Ace.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we have Aja in the bestseller seat. So Aja, we're gonna ask you a couple of questions, right?
Okay.
Look, she's like, oh God, I ain't coming back on the Brown Book. She gonna call me and be like, I am not doing the Brown Book series on Wednesday night, and I'm not doing midnight show ever again. I just went.
Nah.
So I'm gonna ask you the first question, Aja. So you're in the bestseller seat. So tell us this: what's one truth about love writing, or is this industry people don't say out loud but should? So what's the one thing, that's true about this whole romance thing in writing, that in this industry people just don't say out loud but they should?
Hmm.
I get deep on
That's a
Saturday
tough
morning.
one.
No, it's before the tequila. On Saturdays I drink after midday, so I can think clear in the morning.
I don't know. I don't know what we're not saying that we should, specifically as it relates to Black romance in the industry. I think in general, what is required to entertain people is constantly changing. And I think it's connected to the way in which, like, we need to be entertained in general. Like, people are looking for quick type of stimulation. They're looking for things to be sensationalized, like warm and cozy and sweet and safe romance doesn't appeal to a lot of the audience that it used to. They're looking for, over the top. And it like when you look at what we are consuming all the time, like the TikTok reels, everything, you got to come with it. It's got to be a lot going on to really appeal to readers today. Not all, but a large set of readers really need to be stimulated in ways that they didn't need to be before. Not in romance is what I'm saying,
Okay.
So that's one thing I'm observing, but I don't know if there's anything we're not saying. I know that I know one of the things is, like, this is a hustler's world right now. And
Yes.
it's not just in romance or in the industry, but there's a lot of ways in which authors have to appeal to readers. Like, readers are looking for things to be more than just the book, more than just the writing in the words. Like, they're looking for special editions and character
Yeah.
art and book boxes, or maybe not, or
Yeah.
lots of events. There's like tons of events now. I remember when I first got into the industry, or even just entered as a reader, it was like one event. It was the Romance Slam Jam. There might have been one more thing, but that was
Mhm.
it. But now there's like 30 events a year. It's crazy. So it's really like
Man,
a hustler's
30 events a month. I'd be like, yo, you gotta get a second job out here to go to some of these events. Yeah, agree.
yeah.
It's a lot. I absolutely love it. And speaking of readers though, like what do and then I'm gonna get you so you can ask her a couple of questions here too. But Aja, what do readers say they want? You know that what that they really don't.
Mm. I don't know that they say this, but I think that people, they say they want love, right? They want love. But oftentimes when they get just love, like a man who is truly devoted and committed, they may be bored by that.
Mm-hmm.
They really enjoy the conflict, and they enjoy kind of a toxic experience before the love comes in.
They want a man to grab them by their neck, smack them on the ass.
Yeah, that they do love that a lot. And some of us love that too, you know what I mean? But
Yes, we do. Ah.
yeah. So
So you said they don't really want they want the romance, but they don't they want some of the toxic relatable and their like now time modern romance, I guess.
they want a little bit of, like I said, that conflict, the struggle that comes before the love. They want a lot of that, it seems.
They want that toxic foreplay. I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. I like it. Midnight Ace.
Hey, y'all. So I got a question for you, Miss Aja. Okay, what is something about this industry that changed how you move?
Mm.
You know what? I think it's like harder to be vulnerable. Like, if you share opinions today, it's likely that it can trigger something, and you become viral for something that was nothing for you. Um, is that what you mean? As far as, because I think that it is definitely, I've always been a quiet person anyway, and more
Mm.
observant, but I know that I also need to be extremely careful. I don't want to have conversations about what my thoughts are. If
Yeah.
if I share it, people who are of the like mind of it, fine. If you have an opinion, sure. But I'm not going to argue back and forth. And I really don't want to become like my mother and get real stern if someone, wants to come up against me about something that I've said. But yeah, people argue. They're very argumentative today. There's a lot of fights. There's a lot of bickering. And I think that what that has done, not just to me, but a lot of artists, is, kind of made us become quiet and choose
Mm.
where we share our thoughts and opinions.
Yeah. So
I
any
get that.
industry things like, like publishing or being a hybrid or self-publishing, any of those change how you do things today?
No, not really. I think that the industry is constantly changing. Like, one of the things that I said earlier is a hustler's world. Um, you have to constantly pay attention to what it is that people enjoy and decide what you want to feed them, whether you even can. So I think that it's not changed me. because the thing that I've always had to do was observe what's happening and make decisions about my business, not the writing per se, but the way that I'm running the business part. Decide how I want to do that based on what's happening. How much do I want to, put into this thing? How much money do I want to put into appealing to readers? Do I want to advertise? I definitely think that indie is a lot bigger than it was when I first got into it. That's a really good thing to see. I love seeing these authors make these really huge deals. We're in places that we weren't before. Um, and maybe that's encouraging in a way that it wasn't before midnight. So I think that's a good thing. It's the possibilities that we didn't have before have been really great to see and be a part of. But just overall, like we always need to be observing and ready to make a move,
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And speaking of making moves, Aja, you got a new book coming up.
Mm, yeah.
Carmen, you got a new book coming out. Well, tell us about Carmen, honey. She's in the series with Smoke. I love Smoke. Let me tell you something. First of all, I love your Soul Tie series. I've told you this all the time. I like about all of them.
Thank you. I
I
love those
absolutely
women too.
those women, Zorda. I love, love, love that series of yours. Like, I mean, I love all your books, but that's my favorite series. Um, and then when you brought Smoke in here, I'm like, wait a minute. What did who was sleeping with Smoke and all them over there? And so of course I got into that series, and Carmen is a part of that series, correct?
She is. It's an origin story. So if you've read Smoke, if you read any of the Enigma series books, you know who Carmen is, and you likely hate Carmen. And
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
read her origin story, you're still going to hate her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to get you to change your mind about her, but I am giving you her story. And I really have enjoyed telling this story.
Hi, did someone page tax?
I'm sorry. All right, I'm the Aja midnight
That's
doing something
okay.
next. Now, what about her story? Sorry. Yeah, we don't like Carmen. We don't
No, you're not gonna like her. You're still not gonna like her because she she intruded on the relationship Smoke and Zora
oh,
were
yeah,
having, and
yeah.
she also left her children. She abandoned her children, and they thought that she was dead for many, many years. So when she shows up at the end of Slick, for just a moment, Slick gets to see her mother that she,
Yeah.
barely remembered, and then she's dead. So Carmen dies, in present day, she's dead. But going back and telling her story was it was deep and it was emotional. It's been hard for me to tell it, to be honest with you, because I didn't like her. I never liked her. I wrote her because I didn't like her. Like I like writing characters that challenge me, and every single time I do it, I say to my husband, why do I do this to myself? Like, why do I choose people that are unlikable? Smoke was unlikable. He
I
was
like Smoke.
unlikable.
I don't know. I like to Smoke though for some strange reason.
You liked them. Did you start with the Soulmate series and liked them in the Soulmate series?
No,
Okay,
I'm
because I
sorry,
was going to
but
say,
when you got to his story though, maybe you know what? Maybe because when I learned his origin,
ah, okay.
that's yeah. Because I didn't like him in the Soulmate series a little bit, but not really. I'm like, oh, she could do better. But once you went over into, and I'm just gonna be honest with you because that's what we do here, at Love Lives and Bestsellers. I was like, what is Aja doing? Why is she writing about this old no good ass? You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
once I got over there, I got into him and I got into Malachi. I mean, I got into all of them over there. I was like, okay, then I get it. So maybe that's the same thing that's going to happen with Carmen. Like, are we? Because I'm like, ain't she dead? But
She's
are we
dead.
gonna? So are we gonna like her? Or are we just gonna understand? You know why she's the way she is.
You will understand, and that's the point of the origin stories. They're really not about changing history and, giving them a future. That although both Shine and Butch are in present day, so they have a future. It's really just about telling the story, and hers was a story I wanted to tell, and it was not easy to tell it because I knew what her end would be. I knew what she did to get herself there, but finding out her reasons, finding out what brought her to that moment is what's been pleasurable for me. Hard, but pleasurable because I got through it.
I love it. Love it. So, and when does Carmen come out?
Carmen comes out next month, the end of next month. Oh, wait, no, this month.
It's this month. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
yeah. We're in April.
I was like, there will be another one coming out this month then. Cause hold on, I just started.
No, I was, you know what? I was stuck in March and because I had just released The Undoing, and that's where my head has been. And when I
Yes.
put Carmen out on pre-order, I haven't told anybody really about it. I put it in my newsletter, but I haven't said anything to anyone anywhere else. Yeah.
Well, now you said it to us because I was like, honey, I had to go see. I was like, well, hold on. I know she just had one that just came out, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I was just like, well, what is Carmen? What's going on over here? So the book that you're out now promoting, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so The Undoing is a whole different world. Yeah, it's a second chance romance, but I really like my second chances to not be messy, not something that I wouldn't forgive. They just had, it was like a bad timing thing. He struggled through, the main character, Tariq Hunt, was a firefighter and ultimately becomes a fire investigator, an arson investigator. And his love interest, Sanaa, they lived together. They had a really hot, intense relationship. And he goes through a fire situation where someone dies, he almost dies, and he struggles with the fact that the woman died in this fire, and he doesn't really open up about what he's going through, so the two of them kind of fall apart, and she moves out, she moves on with her life, or so she thinks. But a new string of fires, which is connected to some clients of Sanaa, brings the two of them together again, and it just is on and popping from the moment that they see each other again. It's like they've been waiting for this. So I just have so much fun. It's very grown, it's very sexy. My entire Lover series, it's just filled with nothing but heat, but a whole lot of emotion and passion. I've enjoyed every story. They're standalones, so you can start anywhere. The Undoing isn't connected to anything else, but there are some cameo appearances. So you actually see Smoke. Smoke is one of Nas clients, and he's dealing with these fires in his own way. And so I really enjoy bringing him in because he's always in something. So
He is. I love it too. I love it. I do. I love it. I mean, let's see. Mama Tony said that she didn't like Smoke at first, but he grew on her. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Miss Nelly, yes, Miss Nelly, we will be here every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check us out. And we have Aja in the building with us. Aja is wonderful. She's like, you know what, Shay, I come on to be the first. I jump in the hot seat. Anything I ask, she's like, oh Lord, I'm gonna do it. Anything. So we have her here, and yeah, she's gonna be with me for the Brown Book series for Novel Experience. You get the full interview with her on this Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's Brown Book series. Just come on back here to the same station that we're on now, and then you'll be able to hear the full interview with Aja. Let's see. We had our question for today. If you still want to, chime in, a question for the day, even after we get off the air, you can still leave your comments. What is considered Black romance? Brenda Jackson, a legendary, chimed in on that, and she says, back in the day, and possibly still today, if couples are of different ethnicities, it became a multicultural romance. I write about multicultural characters. I write my characters how I feel them, regardless of their ethnicity. However, so far, either the hero or the heroine is black. Hmm. Okay. And you feel and you black in real time. So that I guess would that fall? And that's another question too that we can put out there for another day. If you are, hmm, would it just be like, okay, all your books are black romance, or because you write an interracial couple? I think they'll just make it just that book, not black love, right? Midnight, what you think?
Yeah, and that's partially like the question, but yeah, that's based on what she's saying. I would say yes.
Okay, just that minute. Okay, cool. And we're still talking about uh, books that came out this week. Reunion with the Doc by Mona Schaff dropped this week as well. And then Midnight Iris Boland's Leopard
Leopard
dropped this
actually,
week.
it actually dropped on Amazon this week. So
Yeah.
Leopard is part of the New Generation series.
Yes, it's part of the New Generation series, and that dropped this week. Brenda Jackson said Delaney Desert Chic is considered a multicultural romance. That's true for the Westmorelands of multicultural romance. Aja,
Yes.
you're the absolute best. You want to hang out with us for a few minutes as we get into some more of this industry tea, or are you like, I'm done with you, Shay? I see your ass on Wednesday.
I'll sit around for a little bit longer if you want me here.
I love it. That's right. Aja is in the bestseller seat, y'all. I absolutely love it. Love her. So, Midnight. Love, lies, and bestsellers. We talked about love. We talked about the bestsellers. Now let's talk about these lies. How about this, y'all? Author K. Rose has been removed from attending Sassy in St. Louis by the event organizer Amy Marie. Did you hear about that? Have y'all heard about that?
Uh, you,
I just like, where's his exit? But where is
I don't know who. I don't even know who that is. Who is it?
Yes. So her name is Kay Rose. She's the author, right? And so she was going to this book event called Sassy. It's in St. Louis, and our organizer Amy Marie. So she requested a form to be filled out by all the authors, right? Like as we do, we organizers like, yo, fill this form out. And in her form, she notified the organizer that, hey, listen, I've been getting death threats. They have a TPO put out, or that's what's a restraining order on 3 of the people that you have as volunteers for your event.
Oh, you know what? I heard about this. I think I read it on Threads.
Yes, she was advised that they didn't live in the same state, so they had yet to be served, because Amy was like, well, have you served them yet? I understand that the judge granted you the restraining order from everything that, allegedly they done to you or whatever. So have they been served? And she's like, well, no, they haven't been served yet because we're not in the same states, but they're going to be served. The TPO was granted, and you have them as volunteers. One of the volunteers is Amy's friend. So in return, instead of getting rid of the volunteers who are just, free, she uninvited the author who has paid her money, who has did her pre-orders, who has invited people there to come see her, and she got uninvited. So of course, the internet was split. Some of the authors felt, well, hey, because you have a TPO against, these young ladies or whatever, and the organizer, she's just putting you in a safe place, so she just uninvited you. Where some feel like, if that lady paid her money and did some sponsoring and got her books and have gotten people been pumping your event up and got people coming to see her, she should not have been the one to have gotten uninvited.
Right.
Your thoughts?
Messy.
Damn right.
Why is everything so messy lately? It's
right.
nothing but a mess.
It's messy down. I was like, what? Midnight, what you think?
Definitely messy, but as I would say to the author, never go any place where you're not celebrated. That's for anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that is quite an inconvenience for her to have ordered books and have her readers coming to see her And then, now because of this situation, she's uninvited. So what happens with those readers? Now the reader's going to be mad at her. They're going to be mad at the organizers. So now you got another fight coming up.
Yeah,
It's a lot. And then,
it's a lot.
and then she did give her money back. Yes, she did get her money back.
Yeah, she did get her money. She did get her money back.
But did she also, I would ask, can you reimburse me for buying all of these books? Because I wouldn't have normally bought all of these books,
I would have, even though the volunteer is my friend, first I've been like, girl, why you doing all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I would have just told my friend to stay at home. Girl, you can't, this event, you can't work, boo.
I mean, the reason why these organizers put on the show is for a reader and a writer to become connected, not to be connected with volunteers. I mean, volunteers are good and needed, definitely, but I don't know. I don't know. I would be split too, right, with the internet, but I would just say don't go any place where you're not celebrated. Period.
Man, I would have showed up and had the police outside waiting. I got a restraining order against this. That's what I would have did. Like, you gonna play with me like that? It's so crazy. So of course we had the internet split. Author Maria Vickers said, when an author lies about an event organizer and an event, an author was kicked out of Sassy in St. Louis. She got all her money back and the organizer offered extra. She was kicked for one reason only. She had hundreds of death threats. I'm like, about some books? What the hell did she write? So on this day and age, you have to take the threat seriously. And the organizer did. She uninvited the author because she is taking it seriously. So for no other reason. But the author's claiming it was because the organizer is friends with one of the bullies she filed against. And I was just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes authors don't need to comment on other authors' stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It's like,
no, I agree with you. We're colleagues, and yeah. We're colleagues, so we kind of stay out of it.
Yeah, trying to stay out of it. It's crazy. That's why we talked about earlier about Bonnie Blanco, about her book and how she got into it with the review. I'm talking about when she got into it with her, they got into it. Like, I'm talking about, I think somebody told somebody to go and wash up under their neck, get into it. Like, it was a mess. I was like, oh Jesus, like they ain't playing over here. Threads, baby, is messy. Threads be threading. Yes, Threads is it's double messy, as you say, Mama Tony. It's a mess. And so we talked about it. We talked about that a little bit, Aja. Do you feel when the reviewers are reviewing your book, if they give you a harsh, like tear down, this shit ain't no good review, should you say something to the reviewer, or should you even take to the internet and voice that you was upset about the review? Because I think that's what happened. She voiced that she was upset about the review, and then all hell broke loose.
Mm-hmm. I saw that too. No, you need friends. Someone that you can talk to. You text, call, you share, because it stings. I know we're supposed to have thick skin, and we do to a degree. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're human beings, and it's our art. So we feel something, but you just need someone to talk to and cry to if that's how far it goes. But no, you don't have a conversation with the reviewer. They have a right to their opinion. They have a right to put on whatever the platforms are to leave reviews. Some of them are done in poor taste, but that's not our job to police that. They have the freedom to do it. We can choose not to read our reviews. Generally speaking, I look at my reviews in maybe the first week just to see if I kind of like hit my audience, if they're feeling what I was doing. But outside of that, like, I leave them alone. Like, I don't want to see, I don't want to know, especially if you disliked it. That's your business. It's out there now. What am I going to do about it? So, I don't think that we should engage at all unless we're tagged. And I think that conversation is coming forward too is if we're tagged in reviews, how do we engage, especially if they're critical or negative?
This is true.
Um,
Miss Bev says that she said don't tag the author. Message if you have something just dying that you just gotta say that's negative or whatnot. Just message the author, because when you tag them, it brings them into the argument basically, because we follow this story, and you had the readers going back and forth or whatnot. But then when the author is tagged, now the author is now in the conversation,
mhm.
and it's like you're defending it's just crazy, because it's like now it goes from you defending your book to you defending your integrity, defending what you just said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so the tagging thing, I now for the one, so if you don't get tagged and someone just inbox you or DM you or something about something they didn't like about your book, like do you want that too? Like do you mind that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that that's ever happened to me where I got anyone in my inbox that had negative things to say. Maybe mostly positive, but there might have been a question about something, and I feel like the way that they approached it was more like they didn't understand why this was occurring or why this was said or done. Very crafty in their way of being critical, and I appreciated that. And it allowed me the opportunity to have a conversation with that reader. But I want to say, like, I have really mature readers. My readership is is very respectful of me. I feel I've not had the messy situations that I see all the time, and I don't know if that's because of how I'm approaching, my relationships with readers. I don't know if that's it, but I've not had that messiness that I see happen. And I appreciate that. I always like, I wonder how people would feel if we could see their performance reviews at work.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, like what they would feel about how vulnerable they would be in that moment, for us to see what people are saying about them, what their managers thinks about their work. um and I think that if you think of it like that, it might help you to be a lot more careful or caring in how you approach authors, because our work is just out there. Like, we're very vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, I be feeling bad because I mean, over at Threads, man, it's so much that goes on. You can't even keep up. It's like, I know we were talking. I'm like, okay, midnight. We're gonna talk about everything,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
romance, from the drama, from the mess, from the publishing tea, from the bestseller, everything that goes into that within these first 2 hours. But it's so much mess that you can't even, like, what happened again? And it all has to do with authors, and then we had a couple of organizers that dissolved the book tours. I don't know if you guys have heard, they have dissolved their company. And I was like, that's kind of sad though, because one of one of my good friends and my client Rona D, she just went to their event in Vegas, and she had a great time. And to hear that now that they're dissolving their company, they're no longer doing these these events, it's like, well, dang, what happened? So it's
but
just,
yeah. What
yeah,
what's happening? Yeah, a lot of things are just shifting. A lot of things are just shifting.
a lot of things are just shifting too. And then too, it's like, I don't know, is it just too much? Should you just not? Should you only have maybe one event per year? Maybe when you get into a bunch of them, because listen, it takes a lot to put on an event. I be running around looking crazy, like what?
Yeah,
Like, it takes a lot. So, big ups to Lavada and Shannon and all them over there. We still rooting for you girls. We hate that Buzzy book tours is dissolved now. But hey, that just might be like right now, just regroup, revamp, rebrand and come back, bigger and stronger than before. So that's my message out to them. Aja,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us. You are an absolute treat. I mean, it's just so wonderful. And let's see. Oh, wait a minute. People got questions. Do anybody got a question for Aja? Wait a minute. We got like 6 minutes and we're gonna close this thing on out. Let's see. Brenda Woodbury says it's not just hold on, put my glasses on. Shay, it's not just authors, it's readers too, and I'm speaking from experience. Yeah, with the messiness, it's crazy. It is crazy. Oh, Miss Bell says she's so proud of you.
Oh, I love Miss B.
Don't start crying and all that shit. You know how she
No,
just
if
be.
I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry with her. You
This is
know.
this is true. We absolutely love you. Rona D said we have to give one another grace, and if there's something we didn't enjoy, just pivot. No need to attack. You know what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
That's grown folk stuff right there. That's one thing I appreciated. In doing Raw because man, last year was the last year, yeah, the year before. When we had it last year before. Anyway, the last Raw, right?
Yeah.
I was like, it was just so. Oh my god, midnight. No, behind the scenes, I just wanted to burn that bitch down. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just absolutely crazy. But people were like, "Well, we don't know." And then I love Audra so much because the so Audra, do you remember the sign came? And they didn't have the sign right. They didn't do it right. It came with the lights, but it didn't have like the flower bed that it was supposed to go on. And they was trying to, and big ups to the hotel, not all of them, but the ones who was trying to help. They was like, "Hey, we could do it like this. We could do it." I was just like, you know what? This is crazy. Aja took out her cell phone, and your husband is absolutely wonderful. You was like, "Hold this. Let's take this. Let me see." And so you stood in front of the sign, and you was like, "Oh yeah, no, this can work right here. Oh no, 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 we good. No, keep it like this, Shay. This is straight." I was like, you know what? I fucks with Aja. I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you
Yes.
so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and this is fun. You
No,
found a little good thing, yeah. Yeah, I like
thank
God.
you like this? This gonna be cute. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And remember, everybody, I just to hear her full interview, make sure you tune in Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for the Brown Book series. That's this Wednesday night, 7 p.m. for the Brown Book series. And of course, we'll be sending the flyers and everything out so you can come back and hear everything about the undoing. And then we're gonna dissect Miss Carmen some more because that bitch was crazy. And I and we need to know why. And anytime I can hear anything about Smoke, I'm sorry. I just love him. I mean, he's yeah, like I would kiss him in his mouth. Like I love him. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Well, dang. I
I
am
would.
looking forward to Carmen as well, Aja.
Thank you, Midnight.
And the undoing, and we gotta unpack the
And I'm
undoing.
doing right. Yeah.
Yes, we gotta unpack the undoing. So make sure you guys check Aja out Wednesday night, 7 p.m. at the Brown Book Series, and also you can go to Aja the Right is AjaTheWriter.com. Hold on, what's it?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, AjaTheWriter.com. Brenda Jackson said, "Congratulations, Aja, on all your success."
Oh,
And of
wow.
course,
Thank you.
yes, and of course, Unveiled is like, "Love me some her, girl." I love it, honey. I absolutely love it. Aja, thank you so much. We
Thank
love you, baby.
you. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay.
Thanks
Bye
to
bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Midnight Ace.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, it's almost time for us to get our asses up out of here, but we're gonna be here every Saturday. Every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're going to be at at an event, just let us know, the event you're going to be at so we can pump it up. And if any books that were released that week, so next week if you have any books released, just let us know so we can give you a shout out on Saturday. And we're going to be here every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Love, Lives, and Bestsellers with me and my girl Midnight Ace. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to make this a community thing, romance from romance news and community. So anything that you think we should talk about, feel we should talk about, hey, let us know. Anybody you want to see or hear in the bestseller seat, please let us know. Just let us know.
Make it happen for you.
Yeah, we're gonna grab one of them DJs, put them in the business in the bestseller seat, get their opinion on something.
Real knowledge. Yeah.
Real knowledge and real, because we talk about the books, but we want to know like what the author, what they think. So I love, Audrey just gave us her authentic thoughts on
Yeah.
things. You know what I'm saying? So That's what we want to know. And then we'll unpack the book version of every, we'll unpack them as an author on our various shows, throughout the week.
Mm.
All right, cool. All hearts and minds are clear.
All hearts and minds clear.
All hearts and minds are clear. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little, little thoughts, little thoughts before we leave. Everybody wants a love story, but not everybody respects the work behind it. So whether you're reading, writing, or building into space, learn the game, protect your voice, and don't let the hype outpace your purpose. You know what I'm saying, Midnight?
And amen.
Right. And also, baby, read that contract because a lot of authors are excited to be signed, but not reading what they signed. How about that? So today's lesson is know your rights, know your royalties, know your timeline because, that I'm just happy to be here will cost you money. How about that? We'll see you next week. You've been listening to Love, Lies, and Bestsellers with Shay Baby and
Midnight Ace.
all right, y'all be blessed and
Next time.
have a great weekend.